In this video, I'm going to go through tips and techniques of how you can actually increase your auction totals 30 to 50% over normally what you would make in your online auction. So if you're running an online auction, there are some tips that we can give you that if you implement them, you're going to definitely raise a lot more money in your online auction. A lot of these tips that I'm going to go over, we have individual videos for, and in the video description below, I will add links to those individual videos to get more information on them. But what I want to do in this one is kind of give you a high-level overview of how you can implement some of these changes and just kind of where to find the different things. So first thing that we always want to go over is the auction design. So from the design editor, you really want to take time and design your auction page. Pick a background color, try to match it to your organization's website as much as possible. Add a banner. You can go to a website called Fiverr, and I'll add a link to Fiverr below, fiverr.com. And for $5, you can have someone create a custom banner for you. It'll just kind of bring more credibility to your auction. It'll make it look better, and it'll just kind of really make it stand out. Another thing that we want to do is you definitely want to add the Donate Now buttons to your auction page. This, again, not only are you going to be able to collect bids, but you're also going to be able to collect cash donations from those people that don't want to bid on any of the items, or maybe they're just not interested in any of the items that you have. So you want to give them the ability to donate now. The other thing that we want to do in your auction description, you want to tell them what to do. So tell them they can help support your cause by bidding on items, making a cash donation, or sharing your auction on social media. You also want to make sure that in the auction description you talk about your organization, where the money goes, the impact it has on the community, so that people know that when they donate money to you, or they place a bid on your item, or they share your auction on social media, they're doing it for a cause that makes sense, that helps the community, that does good in the world. So you definitely want to make sure that overall, your auction page is branded to your organization. You want to talk about your organization, the good it does in the community. You want to make the appeal to your visitor when they're reading, so that you tell them what you want them to do. Place a bid, make a cash donation, or share it on social media. And then also add the Donate Now buttons on your auction page. Now, the other thing that we want to do is, we talked about this in another video, is you want to make sure that your auction titles are compelling. You want to make sure your descriptions, from the reader's point of view, you want to get them, when they're reading that description, you want them to feel the experience, feel the item. How's it going to do? What can they do with that item? If it's like a restaurant gift certificate, or lift tickets to a ski resort, or NASCAR driver for the day, whatever it may be, give them examples of how they can implement that. Whether it be, you could use this for the perfect date night, a night out with the kids, a night out with the spouse, a night out with the girlfriend or boyfriend. Give them ideas. Ask questions in the description. Use some humor, like some of those examples I showed you in one of the other bonus videos on how to get more bidders and increase the amount of items or bids per item. So you definitely want to make sure that you spend some time on the descriptions, the titles, just throwing an auction together and throwing it out there. You can do that with our site, but the more time you put into it, the more bids you're going to get, the more bidders you're going to get, the more people want to share your auction with their friends and family. So you definitely want to make sure that you take the time to design your auction. Our data has shown the auctions that have, people have spent time with the banners and the background colors and the descriptions raise 10 times more money than the ones that don't. And in that bonus video for increasing bidder signups that I showed you the example of, great looking auctions compared to ones that have no effort put into them at all. And that auction where it stands today isn't going to get very many bids, as compared to some of the other ones. Or if they just put a little bit more time and effort into the design and the logos and the banners and the descriptions, they'll dramatically increase the amount of bids and the amount of money they raise, 10 times what they're currently going to get. So step number one for increasing your auction totals is spending on the look and feel of your auction and the items and the descriptions that you want to put into your auction so that you tell your visitors what to do. Now, step number two to increasing your auction totals 30 to 50% is we want to make sure we're in constant communication with your bidders. So what we have is, if you come under auction options and text messages, we have some predefined text messages that we can schedule to go out to your bidders. And in one of our earlier videos, we go into more depth on how you can use this. So I'll add a link to this section below so you can quickly get over to that. But just a high-level overview. We want to make sure that if you are running a live event, that you're letting people know that your auction's starting soon, whether you preload everybody into the system or maybe you launched it a week before and people have been bidding all week. You still want to send out like, hey, our live auction or our live event is starting, in 30 minutes. Check out your items basically this puts your auction on their phone. So whether they show up to the event, they can start bidding. Now, if you're just doing an online auction, you won't necessarily need this, but you can use some of these other ones. So definitely do the make a donation. Schedule this to go out at a specific time. And in that video, we kind of give you some examples. But if you ever need help with this, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll walk through in like a screen share. We'll help set up your account so that everything's perfect. You definitely want to make sure you send out a link for your items with no bids. I mean, if you're doing an online auction, you can schedule this a couple different times. So there's no right or wrong. The only thing we want to make sure we don't do is we don't want to spam people, because if you spam people with text messages or like every day or a couple times a day, if you're sending out links to your auction, it's going to start turning people off. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not oversaturating their inbox or their text messages with links or messages about your auction. Auction closing soon. This is great to do, 2 hours, 3 hours before your auction ends. Just letting people know, hey, our auction's ending tonight. Get your last minute bids in. It could be that some people have registered, but they haven't placed bids in yet because they want to wait till it gets closer to the end. So you want to notify people, hey, our auction is closing soon, so make sure you get your last minute bids in. And then this one is key here. So donation requests for non-winners. So you're going to have a lot of bidders that don't win items. They place bids, but they were outbid, and they just you're not going to. They were willing to donate to your organization with a bid, whether it be $25 or $100. So if they don't win, they were still going to commit that money to you. So now you can give them a way to say, hey, sorry you didn't win any items, but please consider making a cash donation in support of. So use these text messages to kind of attract more bidders. If you implement these and with the strategies that we kind of tell you in that other training video around the custom text messages, you're dramatically going to increase the amount of cash donations you receive and also the amount of bids that you receive on your auction items. So if you're running just an online auction, those first two tips, the design and then the messages, are going to be a great increase in the amount of donations that you receive. Now, if you're running a live event and you're doing mobile bidding at a live event, the last thing that you want to do is you want to implement a paddle raise. So if we come under paddle raise or live event options, paddle raise, again, we have a whole video just for this paddle raise. So you definitely want to make sure that you implement a paddle raise into your auction. You can display the leaderboard on the wall. You don't need an auctioneer to do this. You just need somebody that is comfortable enough to get on a microphone and tell everybody, hey guys, we're going to be doing our paddle raise. Click the button on your mobile phone or on the mobile auction to get it started. and basically people can make those cash donations. So again, you're going to get people that, at live events that bid on items, but then they're also going to get people that donate cash because, the way psychology goes with the people all in the room, they want to see their name on the leaderboard so that everybody else in the room knows that they made a donation. So you definitely want to implement the paddle race. So if you're running just an online auction, my first 2 tips are dramatically going to increase the number of how much money you actually raise, your auction totals. And if you're doing a mobile auction or bidding in a live event, if you implement all 3 of these, you're going to blow it out of the water. You're going to raise a ton of money, more money than you've probably ever raised in the past with any other auctions that you do. So feel free to reach out to us at any time. We'll talk through some of these. We'll even help set up all the different features within your auction before you launch them. Our main goal is to help you raise as much money as possible because, that just builds our credibility. It makes us look better. It's going to make you talk to all your friends about how great Charity Auctions Today is. So we have a vested interest in making sure your organization raises as much money as possible. So, definitely utilize us as much as possible. We're there to help you, and we're there to make sure your auction's successful. So go ahead and make sure you implement those 3 tips into your auction page so that you can raise more money this year with your auction than you ever have before in the past.